Test cricket is like a five-course meal with wine pairings. It takes time to develop. And by the time you're done with it, you're either left in a food coma because of how bad the game turned out to be, or you're left punch drunk. And this game, the first game of Ashes 2023 between England and Australia, it was a brilliant five-course meal which left me punch drunk. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond Bounces and Boundaries. This is your host, Santosh Kumar. In today's episode, we'll discuss the first game of Ashes 2023. Let's get to it. So, in a good series, when there is so much excitement, so much hype, and so much history behind, it is important to start things off well. It is important to start things on a right note, and they did. You could not ask for a better test match for a 5-game test series. It was brilliant, it was entertaining, and it sold tickets. So, after watching this game, I had a few observations which I wanted to discuss, and that's what this video will be about. Let's get into it. So, number one is that Bazball is going to be the future of Test cricket. Now, what do I mean by Bazball? It's not just what Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes are doing, it's about the way they approach the game. And we observed this. We saw this happen with Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri as well, right? They, in fact, set the tone in modern day cricket. And this type of cricket is important because the game is evolving. It's not about baseball, it's about the way we play the game. ICC wants to save Test cricket, right? At the end of the day, ICC is business. ICC is a business. And any business across any industry, it's going to survive and thrive if it satisfies the customers. And in this case, customers are the fans. Fans are your ultimate customers, right? And to satisfy the fans, you need entertainment, right? That's what the fans want. And as ICC, as governing body of cricket, what they need to do is they need to find a way where they can impart this style of play without compromising the quality and the integrity of the game. That is how the trajectory of Test cricket is going to go from here on if Test cricket needs to be safe. This is the way forward. The way we watch the game is completely changing. And that is why this style of play is going to bring the maximum number of customers to the grounds. This is what Virat Kohli did. This is why Virat Kohli will go down as one of the most successful Test captains. He brought in crowds across the globe everywhere the Indian team played. That is what is important. That was my number one observation. Number two, where was the game won? Let's get into the details of the game now. So normally when I look at the games, when I watch cricket, I look at from the standpoint of where was the game won, right? In a T20 game or in an ODI game, I look at what over did the game change? What over did the batsman take over or the bowler took over? When did the momentum shift? And in Test cricket, you see at what session did the game change? What day did the game change? These are the things that's important in Test cricket. And when I was looking at this game, you see, if England had won the game, we can easily point out right from the ball one, Zach Crawley creamed it. Zach Crawley set the tone for England, right? The first day itself, within the first 10 overs, Australia were put on back foot. Then Joe Root comes in. He plays like an ODI game. He literally scores the 100 at the strike rate of 78, almost close to 80. That is insane. And where it gets interesting is that the game was not won by England. Australia took over the game. And that's where this gets more and more interesting and more scrutinized. It's almost as if England shot themselves in the shoe. What do I mean by that? So heading into this summer, Ben Stokes ordered flat pitches. They ordered flat pitches for all games throughout the summer. And this is not your typical England wicket. When you think about England, the first thing that comes to your mind is cloudy conditions, green top, the ball is swinging. These are the things that come to your mind. And what they did was completely opposite. You saw how the wicket turned out throughout the 5 days. It was dead. There was nothing for the fast bowlers. And England's inability to take 20 wickets is something we have to address. In Test cricket, this is really important. The team that takes 20 wickets first or quickly is the team that's going to come out on top. England have a decent bowling attack, which is going to be lethal on a grass top. But on a flat wicket, things change. This is what I felt watching the game. It was almost as if England shot themselves in the shoe. So the observation number 3 that I have is, how effective will this approach of England be? What do I mean by that? I just praised Bazball a few minutes back, right? What do I mean by that is England wants flat wickets for the Bazball to be effective. Now, what about the bowlers? We saw what happened. We saw what happened on day 3. There was cloudy conditions, it was raining, and in the few overs that Australia bowled, Scott Boland and Pat Cummins ripped through the batting lineup. They showed what they can do in proper England conditions, unlike the flat wickets that were actually prepared. James Anderson, after the first test, he literally slammed the wicket. He said there was no much swing, no reverse swing, no seam movement, no bounce, and no pace. If all the pitches are like that, I'm done in the Ashes. That's a huge statement coming from the senior most player in the team. Think about it. It makes you wonder if this is the right approach, if this is the effective approach for England Cricket Board. Another observation that I saw throughout the game was mistakes being made. See, in Test cricket, when the game is evenly poised, the team that makes the least number of mistakes is going to come out on top. That is why Australia won this game. Australia made fewer mistakes, England made more. We can go through them. Number 1, it's going to be about the declaration. This question is going to haunt them always, right? But let's not get into the declaration part. They did their best. If you ask me, it was a right move from England. It was a right move from England. 20 minutes left in day 1. No team wants to go out to bat, right? As an opener, you do not want to go out to bat on the last 20 minutes of the day. There is pressure. You want to save the day. It's a whole new ball game when you're playing the last 20 minutes of the day. And then comes the mistakes of catches, stumpings, no balls. Johnny Bairstow is coming off a broken foot. He took an outstanding catch off Marnus Labuschagne, but then he dropped 3 next in the next 4 sessions. That is a crime. And these are the things that will be talked about. First, there was a straightforward stumping chance of Cameron Green. Cameron Green just came in, right? The team was 148 for 4. Travis Head just went out and he missed the stumping. Cameron Green went on to score 38 runs. Crucial 38 runs. Then Alex Carey. Alex Carey was batting on 27 when Joe Root was bowling. He missed the catch. Then again, from James Anderson's bowling, he dropped Alex Carey on 52. Alex Carey went on to score 66 runs. That's 39 runs extra, almost 40 runs. What would have happened if those 40 runs were reduced? England would have come out on top. These are the things that's important. No balls. England bowled 23 no balls. I mean, come on. My God. Stuart Broad, the second most successful bowler for England, bowled 11 no balls. It's a crime. And in the end, those 23 runs cost them. As simple as that. Do the simple stuff right. Do not make mistakes. We literally talked about it in the earlier video. The team that makes less mistakes. Sometimes you do not even have to get all the boxes checked. The team that makes the least number of mistakes is going to be the one that's going to come out on top. And we witnessed it in this game. Now, let's look at Australia for a second. Enough of England. So, Australia, they made headlines when they dropped Mitchell Starc. Mitchell Starc is one of the senior most players in the team. Did Australia miss him? Could he have made the difference for Australia? One of the reasons I feel Scott Boland was taken over Mitchell Starc is that the pitch was flat, right? The pitch was flat. And Scott Boland, he can do much with the ball on a dry wicket, on a dead wicket. He can bowl cutters and he can work with the ball off the wicket. But then you question, Starc is the most experienced. What do you do? So to understand this conundrum of Mitchell Starc or Scott Boland, let's take a look at the stats. And here's what the stats say. So Mitchell Starc's bowling average in the second innings, in the team's second innings, technically the third or fourth innings of the game, it is 29. It is 29. That is, he gives 29 runs to take 1 wicket. And the strike rate is 52, which is essentially bowling almost 9 overs to take 1 wicket. Now let's look at Scott Boland. So Scott Boland's bowling average, especially in the second innings, is 10. I mean, that's insane. And his strike rate is 26. So basically, he's giving you a wicket every fourth over. He's giving you a wicket every fourth over in the fourth innings, in the final two innings. This is really mind-boggling. Another important stat to look at between Mitchell Starc and Scott Boland is Scott Boland gets better as the series progresses. You can literally bet on him. If you look at the average, 37, 21, 7, 9, 12. And the strike rate is 62, 55, 14.5, 32, and 39. What it essentially means is that he starts off by giving 37 runs to take one wicket in the first game. In the first game, he takes almost around 10 overs to take his first wicket. But by the time he comes to the final game of the series, he takes wicket every sixth over, giving away just 10 runs, 12 runs. If you compare that with Starc, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. Let's look at his average. 24, 24, 29, 44, 39. So when Mitchell Starc is actually starting off the series on a really high note and at a strike rate of 46, which is essentially almost 4 overs to take 7 overs to take 1 wicket. And by the time he comes to the fifth match of the series, he gives 40 runs to take 1 wicket when compared to Scott Boland's 12 runs to take 1 wicket. And strike rate of 71, that's 12 overs to take 1 wicket versus Scott Boland's 39. That's literally half. That's almost half, right? And these are the things that is really important in when you decide a team, because experience matters to some extent, but stats, the numbers do not lie. But this is where the conundrum for Australia lies. Are they going to go by one game? Are they going to go by stats? Or are they going to go by history and experience? And these are the things that Australia need to consider heading into the series, right? The next 4 games will be really important for them as well, not just England. The win does not always give you the full picture. England were a better team, but Australia made less mistakes. These were some of my observations from the game 1 of Ashes. It will be quite interesting to see how both the teams, they head out and face each other, the kind of wickets that they're going to prepare, the kind of squads that they're going to bring in. It will be an exciting series. I can't wait to watch all the games. This is a brilliant start to a great series ahead. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on exciting videos and content ahead.